Welcome to L.O.A. Today. I'm Walt. With me on the show today, Debbie G and Neo Positivity. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today.
And we're happy to be online and live after 2 straight days where we got knocked off in the middle of doing the podcast. That's not going to happen anymore. I don't care what kind of crazy energy happens here because I got myself a backup UPS that's going to supply continuous power no matter what happens. So bring on the energy shift. We're going to be okay. It's going to be good. No, seriously, guys, we completely lost contact the last 2 shows in a row, 3/4 of the way through. It was crazy.
Oh man. There's some crazy energy happening right now. We are experiencing, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff coming up and out and so actually, because there's a lot of stuff coming up and out and everything, Neo, one of the things about Neo Positivity, if you all have been to his events, you know what he's really good at? He's really good at raising the vibration.
No kidding.
So yeah, Neo, why don't you just pop us right into that and put some tune on and like get us driving.
Just listen. How many times have you been wrong and guessing what's gonna happen when I'm gonna have this job and I'm be married? You gotta get rid of all that. Just let it go. There's gotta be a point where you just stop. A lot of people need to break a bone or something and be sat down for months before they have that realization that this moment is so beautiful. It's so important.
Yep.
Don't wait until you break a bone for that stuff. Don't wait until you cut your finger to realize how much you need this finger. I always hated that, be better. Try to be better every day and just smile as much as you can. Just smile, smile, smile. If you ever stop and just pause, you're going to start appreciating things. Do that more often and just smile. Life is precious. I got some stories for you guys today, some updates, everything. Life is just very precious.
Well, we got to get to there's a lot of stuff to report on today. We have a whole ton. So let's just start working through it because otherwise this could go on for 3 hours. And we only have an hour to do this in. So first and foremost, I gotta just kind of set the stage. When's the next Neo Summit? When's the next one happening, Neo?
We were doing it every month. And every year I take the summer off from everything. And so I want to skip July. Plus I'm moving. That's some whole nother stuff that was going on.
Oh, my goodness.
So yeah, all that's going on. And we might start doing it every 60 days. Some things are lining up perfectly every other month.
Okay.
And it was beginning to be a lot. So we might shift back to doing it every month once I have more people to do a lot of the ins and outs for me. But so for now, we're going to skip July. The next one's going to be August 21st.
All right.
We got Dan Mangena is going to be co-hosting with me this time. He's going to be
Dan the man.
Yeah, he's going to be bringing everybody he can with him and a few people that he spoke with on another Law of Attraction Summit. I spoke with 2 so far. And we're going to lock all that down. I'll be able to put them on a website, on the landing page, neosloasummit.com. That's the landing page. And so that's just beautiful. That's some beautiful things. And the October summit after that is going to be even more wild because I'm going to be at the biggest dental conference on the planet. And I'm going to be up there doing another contest up there called Dentistry's Got Talent. It's like America's Got Talent, but it's in front of dental people. So it's crazy. Just imagine 50 people all giving a 5-minute segment and a couple hundred investors watching. And so like the rest of the day, you're just talking to investor after investor after investor and you do this for 3 days and it's insane. So that's just a small part. That's a huge part. But of the things that are happening that weekend, that's just a chunk. And the future's just looking amazing. It's looking amazing. It really is.
So is the president, actually. The president's looking absolutely incredible. It's just an amazing president we're in right now, I think, anyway. Despite the fact that it's been a roller coaster lately for me, but still, it's an amazing president. And just hello to Joe. Joe's saying hello to everybody. So hello,
Hey.
Joe. Glad you could join us today.
Hey Joe.
Good stuff.
Look, it's the present, Walt.
It is.
That's present. The present is in the present.
That's right.
The present is in the present.
I want to get you guys in my mind frame for the past 60 days. While the summit's going on. So in the beginning of June, I get notice that because I'm renting since I've been in Florida, I've been renting for the past 2 years. And I never rented before, really. Like, I've owned almost my entire life my first apartment. So it's a whole new experience. And it's like, it's cool. Something breaks, you call somebody else, they fix it. You don't have to worry about it, you know. But there's also this thing that happens, and it's called signing a new lease agreement. So all of June, I get noticed that they're selling the house. I got to find a new place to live. Mm-hmm. While the summit's going, while everything in life is going on. And so in Florida's on this boom. They're selling houses $50,000 to $80,000 above asking price.
Oh, yeah.
And every house I looked at from June, beginning of June till mid-June, every house I looked at was gone by the time I called them.
Yeah.
So now I'm panic mode. I need some place for my family to stay. What am I going to do? Got all this stuff. I have a lot of stuff. Big old house. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Everything I look at is gone. And I get a magic phone call. I made a magic phone call asking if I can, what's going to happen if I can't leave. Can I get an extension? I know they're going to raise the rent like $400 or whatever, because they do that if you rent up. So anyway, then the guy tells me the golden thing. You actually have until July 31st. I got a new lease on life. I manifested that. I'm feeling amazing. So from June 15th, we had the summit on the 17th. My daughter's birthday was the same day. All that stuff happened. So I've been looking. Every house I've looked at was gone that day. Oh,
they go fast these days. Here in Connecticut too.
Every day I've looked at a house. Every day I've inquired about a house since June 15th. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until 2 days ago. And I have to thank the host of my last, the co-host of my last summit, Andrew Catt. I was looking at one of his videos, and he said, "The universe is always conspiring in my favor." And I said, "I love that." I said, I have to incorporate that affirmation into my life, especially in these times. But it wasn't until he said, "Comment that below," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I did my affirmation. I did it a couple times, and I said, "No, you know what? I'm going to support my boy. Every comment is a good comment." So I commented to him. And once I got done tapping it out, once I hit enter, something happened. And here, there was an explosion that was 10 times more energy filled than any time I had ever done that affirmation. So I'm a fan of typing things now. And Henry, my boy Henry, he had broken it down for me as far as like, outside of verbally releasing it, something about it coming through your fingers that does something more. So anyway, the whole affirmation was different for me. The whole, not affirmation, but the term, the sentence. And I said it a couple more times, and I was like, it is. Yeah, I started using my oneness with God and me always trying to, help and improve. And I started lining things up in my life, and I just ended up in an amazing headspace. No lie. Like less than an hour, about 47 minutes later, I get an email saying, "You're approved."
Nice.
Because there was this one house I had looked at. It kind of just popped up at the perfect timing. And it said 0 days on the market, and I clicked on it, and there was no pictures, but there was pictures from the past. I was just like, let me get it. I threw the application in. They said I was approved. So now I got this great new tool, and then there was this weight, this 60 days worth of weight that I had on my chest was just, and it was lifted. I still haven't told Andrew thank you. It was like something told me watch this video because I hadn't seen it before that, and I was just like, let me start. It's a 20-minute video. 17 minutes. I was like, let me go. Let me listen to it. And it was titled for anybody who wants to see it instead of.
Congratulations, by the way. That's great. First of all, I love fast manifestation, but that's a great one. I love that.
Instead of paranoia, it's pronoia. So paranoia is when you it's conspiring against you, and pronoia is when you're in the state of mind that the universe is conspiring for you, with you, and that was the whole basis, and I loved it. That was an amazing turn of events, and it just led to a couple of meetings that were amazing after that, including one with Dan. And so I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm on cloud.
Excellent. Excellent. Really good. Oh, that's fabulous. Quick hello to Katrina. Hello, John. Hello, Julie. Just want to get those hellos in there.
John, thank you for joining us today. Oh my God, I haven't seen John and Julie in a minute. I love them. John is from the UK. I love that Katrina just put that up. And I also typed it into the chat. I want to suggest that anybody that's watching right now, go ahead and type in the chat exactly what Neo said. The universe is always conspiring for me. The universe is always, it's I put in for us, but
in my favor.
In my favor.
It's just like, it just hits me different. I don't know. It's just be just me, but it's like, It's like a beautiful machine gun just hit me in my chest.
I love this. And we've got Ellie here. I
hey
love
there,
you,
Ellie.
So I'm loving this, guys. Okay, seriously. So I'm going to tell you about my manifestation. All right.
This is Manifest Friday, I can tell.
Manifest Friday. I have been a go-go bunny. Like I've had people here, I've been out of town, whatever. And I'm getting ready right now to get onto the show. Now I haven't used my headphones. I couldn't find the one thing because they're cordless and all this. And I'm like, geez. Well, I'm just gonna finish getting ready. And there was the important part about something that just came up, and I don't know if you all caught this, but Neo talked about it, and I'm going to talk about it. And that's the art of letting go, the art of getting out of your way and not creating an interference. Step out of the way. And what Neo did is he got out of the way. He got out of the way for things to happen by his knowingness, by his internal knowingness and his willingness to accept things as they were and make the best of it without seeing it as being the worst of it. Okay. And whenever we do that, magic happens. My magic may not be as big right now at this moment, but I'm going to tell you it did just happen. So I'm thinking to myself, forget it. I'm going to use my old ones and not worry about it and finish getting ready. Practice the art of non-interference, getting out of my way. I'm not going into shit. Blah, 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 right? Guess what happens, y'all? Guess what happens? You know what happened, right? Yeah. I'm putting my face on because I have to put this thing on my face. I look in, I swear to you, this is so hilarious. I've looked everywhere. I'm like, done. I'm good. We're going to go forward no matter what. And sure enough, that little piece I need is the receiver. It's in my makeup case. And I'm like, well, that was a smart place to put that, Debbie. You didn't put that. But it shows up. And I went, it's simple as that. When you let go of the attachment to what something needs to be. And what Neo was doing was letting go of an attachment to what everything needed to look like. The willingness to be in your best self no matter what, and to just allow the flow of humanity, the flow of being human to happen. I just love the fact you got out of your way.
I mean, isn't it amazing how fast it happens too? I mean, when you get out of the way like that, it's instant almost.
Yeah. It's one. Two things on that. Packages.
Yeah.
If you ever want a package from Amazon or anywhere to get there early, let it go. It will come a day early. But I wanted to key in on this. I think one of my biggest weapons in this fight I've been in mentally, as far as losing shelter
or gaining it, depending on your viewpoint,
for the past 45 days or whatever, 40 days. It was, you're constantly calculating. You know, especially in this. If it was a financial thing, it's like, okay, I go over my books and I see what I got and I work with it. But this was different. This was like, you see the house, is it still there? You see the house, and then you got this backtrack of the past 30 houses disappearing like that. All those things working against me. So I was constantly coming up with ways to combat these external circumstances. But it was when, and this was the fight, waking up to that, stopping that calculation I was doing. How would I handle? Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to approach it this way. Waking up from that very thought and realizing I got this. All this external stuff, this is little tests and games. I've been through them before. None of that even matters. It's how I'm responding to all these things that matters. And it's waking up to that and ending those. Some of those what if scenarios could have been seen as problem solvers. I need to find out how to get through this. And I'm not saying don't do problem solving and be prepared in the future, but you don't have to dwell on it. And in my situation, there was no final like thing I could do to make this happen. I was pursuing house after house. So it was just like a crapshoot kind of. So mine was a little bit different than if you're like trying to obtain a goal or something like that. But the way it was coming at me was just all day. Every day, especially because it was shelters, my house. How am I gonna? And I got a lot of stuff. So it's like it was just all day, every day, and waking up to that as often as I possibly could. Remember to get out of that mind frame, to wake up from it, because it's hard. It's hard.
Oh yeah.
You used to be walking around running scenarios all freaking day long, 60,000 of them. It's hard to wake up, but that was the toughest part, and I think that's what yielded those results. It was like
no doubt.
It's like they were waiting in a huge balloon to be popped, and then when Andrew said what he said, and I typed it, the balloon popped.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I've been experiencing the same thing in the TIA boot camp because, and this was actually a point of conversation. Debbie, you may have seen this because you're in the group there. The TIA boot camp group was talking about how as you do the work, it's like the whole series, the stream speeds up. The flow of stuff speeds up. Everything gets faster and faster and faster. And that's what you were experiencing in terms of the real estate market, which is certainly pretty hot right now. It's really flowing really, really fast. But it's really true in anything. I mean, the moment that we get into that better space, all of a sudden everything speeds up, and it can be disorienting. It can be really disorienting because, oh my God, this stuff's happening so fast. How do I react to that? Right?
Yep. You guys, look, I love this because this is the real stuff in life. I mean, I want to all of us to share some empathy in what you went through, Neo, because let's face it, as a human being, that's a thing. I mean, it's a real thing, and you're a man, and this is your family. I'm imagining what was real for you right now, and I'm loving how you came to terms with, even with that, it's the response. Do y'all think we're in control of anything really, other than our responses?
Which is everything, by the way.
That's a huge wake up point. Yeah, like that is. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be who I am. I would have never retired.
Of course. Yeah.
I got stressed. Okay, look, y'all. So I got all up in myself when it comes to our children. That control thing, that wanting certain things, and when they're like full grown adults, like God, it doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
And what I think is irrelevant, right? So I got stretched with some stuff, and it's not important what it was. What is important is I had to do that same thing. I had to let it go, because look, what is it that I actually control ever? Look, I know I'm going to die one day. Do y'all know you're going to croak at some point?
I've been told that, yeah.
I mean, that's at some point, like, you're going to croak. Can you control when that actually happens? Any of us?
I believe you do, actually, but
well, I'm talking about in the physical. What I'm trying to make a point to the fact that we as human beings we think we control stuff when really we're manipulating the energy. We're not controlling it, but we're creating it. We're creating what we want. We create our life.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling it is that old paradigm of holding on to some shit that you think you need,
right?
Or you think you whatever. I'm going to guarantee you that when we let go, you're going to get better than you ever thought you could have.
No doubt. Absolutely true.
Because and that's why I say that. I do, and I know I was being extreme, but the fact is that we really don't have that control. Rather, the only control we have is over how we're responding. Neo, that's the only thing you changed, and everything changed around you.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So I'm looking at it saying everything's changed around me when I change my perspective and the way that I'm seeing it. And that's all that Neo was saying. He's not belittling the fact that he's got this thing that's up in front of his face, but he's saying to y'all, hey, it's how he's going about it, how he's approaching it. When I woke up one day and realized that what was working for me once no longer worked for me, I decided that maybe it might be time to start doing it differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, That's a true wake-up call, because that's when you realize that the universe is giving you some information that's not quite what you were expecting, and now you got to deal with it. Now you got to say, okay, this isn't what I was expecting. What do I do next?
Oh, it's a kick in the ass. I'm not ever going to say it's not.
A lot of people are going to resist that type of change. So if you guys anybody listening ever has to get this point across to somebody and they're not wanting to change, like they're content with where they are or whatever, they think they think their recipe right now is success, and you're looking at them like, no, it isn't. This is the nicest. I think the nicest way to do it is just to tell them, like, listen, if you make $100,000 this year, if you want to make $200,000 next year, something's going to have to change. Can't keep doing the same thing, or you're going to make 100 again. That's the only way I've been able to nicely get it across to the people of that type of mindset. But it's the control. That book, The Untethered Soul, I tell you, that book changed everything for me. But the guy talks about us gaining control over situations. I think about me being a pilot. I was scared to fly my entire life, but I've been obsessed with the thought of flying. So when I went to take lessons, I was pulling up to the building and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing? I'm the guy who was scared to get on the plane. But I guess it's now more comfortable because I know what the plane can do. If this, such, and how we could survive the situation. So anyway, when we first see something, our brain just wants to gain as much control over the situation as it can.
Right.
And when we feel like we're not in control, we feel like we're not at ease, we can't be at peace. And that's what you're talking about getting rid of. And it takes that level of understanding that you're not in control anyway. I tell people, you think you know what your kids are going to be doing tomorrow? And yeah, I know exactly where they're going to be tomorrow. Well, not if we get hit by a meteor today and their world ends. So you don't know what tomorrow is. You don't know what's going to happen. You think you know. Well, we don't got control over anything.
My wife was watching a TV program last night. I couldn't tell you what it was. I have no idea. But I saw one scene, and in that scene, there was a group of people sitting around drinking cocktails, and they're having a conversation. And one of them says, do your kids listen to you? And the guy says, oh, yeah, they listen to me all day long. And then they do the opposite of what I say.
Well, yeah. And you got to get more, listen, when it comes to these kids, we get more bees with honey.
This is true.
I mean, for real.
You need a special level of honey these days, because the honey that worked when we were kids ain't the honey that works now.
Well, actually, that's true with that. Yeah, no, we are seeing a big change all over the world, how that we view ourselves, self-love. I mean, if you love yourself enough, are you going to continue to do things that make your heart sad?
I think the people that don't know how to get out and think that's just how it's going to be the rest of their life, I think they accept it. I think
that, and that's why I love that we're showing up here, because it is to say that there is another way. It is to say that we can do it differently. That's the whole point of these conversations and us sharing everything, because, you don't know something till you know it, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know something till you know it, then that means take it easy on yourself. I haven't been in any situation that really wasn't just my absolute desire to be loved or to be seen or to be heard. And when I'm trying to control shit, it's because I'm not feeling within me. I'm not self-nurturing. I'm not self-caring about me. When I'm needing to seek outside of me to make some shit happen out of me, somebody else's stuff, it's because I'm not focusing on the most important person in my life, which is myself. Y'all are the most important person in your life. And you think, well, no, those are my kids. Well, no, that's just codependent. Now stop that. If you don't make yourself the most important person on this planet, then nobody else can be important to you. If you don't learn how to love yourself fully, you will never love anybody fully. Yeah, well, no, I love my kids unconditionally. Oh, really? Do you judge what they do? I just did. I was judging some decisions. That doesn't mean I'm agreeing yet at all, but that's not the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's not. So when we want to be that we're seeking, we don't want to go out and seek it and think we're going to find it. If we're that to start with, then it's going to find us. Do you understand? So you will attract everything like a magnet.
Let's try applying this then to a particular situation, because we had an email from a listener, a longtime listener named Jason, and he's dealing with some stuff, and he wrote in to ask for some help. So let me read the email, and then let's see if we can help him out. He says, "Hello again to Walt and the rest of the L.O.A. team. I'm in a bad way, and I wish to ask you, my mentors, if there's a light. It all started late last month. I work at a not so great position at a warehouse in a smaller town. I want to leave badly. I want to travel. And most importantly, I want to feel happy again. I love my fiancé more than anything. She means the world to me. I feel like I'm spiraling. I was doing a little better when I last messaged you all, but now I don't know. I want to manifest so badly to reap the successes of affirmative thought. I want to take her on trips, build a family with her, and just feel like I'm getting the most out of life. So I guess my question is there any steps to remove all doubt and also not feel the burden of procrastination and fear anymore? I want to love life again. I want to feel like a positive young adult. I'm 24. Thank you again for all you do at the L.O.A. team, for everything you all do for the world. May positivity be in your favor." So what do you guys think?
I love that. I love that. I want to first congratulate him in taking the first steps, which is trusting your intuition. He's obviously looking for a way out of his current situation. His intuition said, you know what, reach out. Don't just watch videos. Reach out. Get a real solid manager for you. So kudos to you for taking that first step and reaching out to us. And with that being the first step of what's about to happen, it's the light. It's the spark, you know. So I'm ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm over here taking notes. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
Okay, I'm loving this. So all right. I love this young man. 24, such a precious age. And so Neo's already touched on it, and that's practices. When we want to change what our reality is, it does require actionable steps. It requires taking an action. Our thoughts, the way I shifted personally was I shifted to a more grateful way of being, a grateful beingness. Today, I had a memory from 3 years ago. It says, grateful to be me and grateful to inspire others to be themselves. What I know is that as long as you see your life as not being what you love, then you're going to experience a life you don't love. When we choose to start being an appreciation for where our life sits on how it looks right now, this very moment, and to be okay with that. And I did this with nowhere to go, not owning a car, with my son in the car, just a few years ago, as he was just entering into his world of sobriety. I chose to get happy right the hell where I was. No idea what we were going to do, no idea how we were going to make it, just knowing that we would. But I chose to get happy then. Well, happiness is a choice. It's a state of being. And how do you, when you feel yourself spiraling down, that's because we're stuck in a mode, at least in my world, I was stuck in a mode of thinking the world was working against me. Let's go back over to what Neo started us with, in the universe that's conspiring in our favor. But this is a shift, and your practice that I recommend is to start doing that shift, to start picking one thing every day, one person every day that you can feel that deep appreciation in your heart for. You see, if you want to bring yourself up the spiral, then it also requires how that your perspective and how that you see things, it requires it changes. If you can't be grateful for something, find something you can be, find someone, but find something to anchor in the appreciation factor into your foundation of your life. Knowing that you are right where you should be, even if you think it doesn't look like it. You are just simply in a holding spot, getting ready to go to your next location. And I love that you love your girlfriend, and I think that's beautiful, sweetheart. However, I'm going to say it, loving yourself is more important. If you want to give this young lady everything she could ever want, then love yourself to the fullest capacity of everything that you can do. Give to yourself the very thing that you think you want to give to her, and in return, you're going to see that reflected back in your relationships and connection. That's where I'd start. Your daily practices, though, daily practices are huge. And I heard a lot. Another thing that I heard a lot of when you were reading that, Walt, is a lot of not seeing yourself in the beauty that you are and the light that you are. And that's where our I am statements come in and our affirmations come in. Even when we don't believe them, it's so important to I am it. I am that I am is the name of God in the book of Genesis. My sister is watching right now. I actually had a conversation with her this morning about this. We were talking about some things that were actually quite difficult, if you all want to know the truth. In fact, it's always difficult to go into conversation about things that need a shift. Okay. But I was talking about the I am and the presence of I am in your life. I am before anything that I am is the name of God, then I am is part of you. Tapping into source through speaking about yourself in a positive light, not I am stupid, because what is that reinforcing? And how does that even feel?
Not good.
So how does I am beautiful. I am vivacious. I am a rock star. I am worthy. I am healthy and wealthy, and I am all those things. I integrate those things, but it starts with the simple process of a step. And that's all I'm recommending is you just change a couple little things on your morning routine and start getting yourself into a practice that's going to give you that opportunity to see things differently by creating the shift for yourself. The only block you've got is you.
100%.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm going to bring in something else too from our friend Dan Mangana, because he talks about something called a check-in. That's what he calls it anyway. Basically, you do exactly that. You check in. You take a little quick inventory periodically throughout your day. Some people actually like to set an alarm on their phones or something like that to remind them, okay, it's time to do another check-in. I actually don't do it with alarms, but I do it anyway. I just make it a practice to go through my day, check in with myself every once in a while. How am I doing? And if I'm not doing so good, if I'm in that bad way that Jason's talking about, then I do something to shift my vibe back up the spiral again. Now, I have to say, this actually came up for me in Thai boot camp this week. I was on module 2 at the time. I just switched over to module 3, so I got through this. But on module 2, I was that's one of the exercises that you do, right, Debbie? I mean, you learn how do you pull yourself back up the spiral. And
yeah,
I was
you do.
trying it, and sometimes it was working, and sometimes I couldn't quite get there. I was too far down. And then David shared a hack in the group that happened this week. The hack is one that he says he's got to put in as an actual module at some point. But the hack is pretty simple. It's a 3-step hack. First step is you do something that doesn't require a whole lot of thought, something kind of mindless, ironing, doing the dishes, something really, really simple to do that doesn't require any thought at all. And what that's doing is it's actually slowing your mind down while you just do something to kind of work through slowing your mind down. And then after you've done the dishes or done the ironing or whatever, then you do 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. You do the appreciation thing that Deborah was just talking about. And you say, okay, yeah, I'm appreciative that, well, first of all, I just did the dishes. The dishes are clean. And I love the fact that I've learned this new hack, and so I can start applying this new hack every day. And you just kind of work through them. Do 3 to 4 or 5 of them, something like that. And what I've actually found, I haven't even gotten to the 3rd step, and I'm already at the spiral. But if you're not quite there yet, the 3rd step is to take a little time to meditate. Because when you're meditating from that position, now you're not meditating from deep down in despair. You're not meditating from depression, from frustration, or from anger. You're meditating much more closer to the neutral spot, which is where you're trying to get with meditation. And then once you get into that neutral spot, that's where source energy is able to pull you back up again. It can't pull you up when you're too far down. So you have to meditate to get yourself to that spot so that it can help pull you back up. And you know what? The damn thing works. It works better than any other combination I've come up with so far. I love the fact that David gave us that particular hack this week.
Nice. I love that. I love Thai boot camp, y'all, because it rocks like hardcore. I was years into my spiritual walk and took Taya. Taya is for everybody. Taya is one of those things. Trust your abundance. It's one of those things that gives you practices and tools that you need. And it's like being in school. Okay, it's boot camp. It's like being in school. It's time you got to do your homework, do the practices, and uncover what it is that you need to just be the best version of you can be. You are the best version of you can be. But tomorrow I'm going to be an even better version of I am right now. And that's my goal.
I am than I am right now.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
All right, you guys ready for the master list?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Rundown. In the spirit of manifesting, I'm rocking this shirt. There's always light. I know sometimes it might feel like there's no light. There's always light. You just gotta open your eyes. Right now, your eyes are closed. That's why you're seeing it. Spending too much time out there instead of in here. So you kind of got to flip it, open your eyes. But you guys get what I'm saying. Your job. You want to leave your job? You don't know if you want to leave? Just think back when's the last time you had a job that you liked, a supervisor that you liked, you enjoyed yourself. Spend some time in that headspace.
Yes.
Bringing seeds. Same thing with traveling. The last great vacation you were on, spend some time there in your mind. You want to be happy. Think of times you were happy. Same thing with your marriage. You want your marriage to be better. If you want your marriage to be better while your toes are in the sand, spend your time there. If you feel like you're spiraling is a state of mind. For past 60 days, 40 days, whatever, I've been feeling like I'm spiraling. I'm losing my daggone shelter. But when it was time for L.O.A, guess what? I wasn't thinking about them houses no more. And if you change your mind that easy, then you can change your mind that easy. So just understand that it's just a state of mind.
Did you just say L.O.A?
L.O.A, yeah.
Oh, no. You really think you're going to say that? It's like going to fly past. Like, I'm not. That is
glazed over.
I love that. It's so cute.
I'll just tell you this. You're good. Okay, your future is in your hands, and the spirit of manifesting, you're here. You came to us for the house. You took that to help. You took that step, and that was a huge one. And so now we're here. Just know that the path you've laid out, regardless of whose voices bring you information, is that winning path. You're on it. You're in control. It might not seem like it right now, but you're going to get what you want, just not in your timing, maybe. So just stay patient, but above all, like Debbie was saying, everything that's happening right now is perfect. You're the perfect body weight, the perfect health for this moment. See that. And worry about the ace that you don't have in your hand. You've been dealt the cards, play your cards. Somebody said something about a holding pattern. When you're in an airplane, and it made me think of this analogy, when you're in an airplane, when you're going to land, if something's happening where you can't land it puts you in a holding pattern. And you got to wait. And if you're running low on gas, you're getting a little worried. You're in this airplane just circling around.
Oh my God.
You start to get worried, but guess what? TSA know how much gas you got. They're going to get you there. So if you got to hold on to a mentality like that, hold on to that. And if anything, I like to use fear. If you don't manifest loving your life, loving yourself, in other words, if you hate yourself, I would say that your spouse is going to start to hate you too. Because vice versa, the more that you love yourself, the more people around you are going to love you. So you don't have a choice but to change your mindset, because that's what's on the line. Your work ain't on the line. Your sanity ain't on the line. Forget about all that. Her. That's the reason to wake up every morning. That's what you're going to lose that. If you put that in your mind, that'll help you wake up from that negativity and shift
real fast.
Process just as easy. And the reminders, I have like a bunch of reminders that go off my watch all day to make sure I stay on point mentally and remind me to do my mental exercises, because I just can't remember because the days just happen. The last thing I wrote on here, it basically was everything I just said. What is it I want? What is it what is it I do want? Anyway, that's what it is. Anytime I run a negative scenario, I'm like, wait a minute, what is it I do want to happen? That's what is it I do want to happen in that situation? And that's where I spend my headspace. And I water the hell out of that seed until where there once was nothing, there's now something physical in front of me.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to have to do this. Use fear to make sure that you know that every second you spend in that headspace.
Okay, so I think that was the best blooper you had all day.
Either way, it worked great.
More time you spend in that head case, the worst things you're going to get. Let that be your driving factor, and then use everything else I just said after you wake up from that depression type thought process.
And I'm really convinced that Jason's actually probably going to be listening to the episode today, just because he sent the email yesterday. I actually sent him a quick email back with a little link to something to help get him going until we do the show today. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be listening in today. And that means there's just enough time to tell him about something, because if you're looking for a way to get a lift, there's a really good way to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, the stream is doing their second virtual summit. And if you want a quick way to get yourself, it's a 4-hour summit, 4 hours of channeling the stream. I mean, I don't know how David does it, to be perfectly honest. 4 hours of channeling? That's a lot of channeling going on. But he pulls it off. It's amazing. But anyone who's tuned in and listening to it, you're going to find a huge lift in your vibe just by tuning into that thing. I think it's only like $97 to get in, and it is worth every single minute of being a part of it. It runs tomorrow that's Saturday, July 10, 2021. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 12 noon to 4 p.m. New York time, and any other time zone, you're going to have to do the calculation yourself. I can't do it for 24 time zones. Sorry, I'm just not that good. But the point is, you can tune in, you can be a part of that event. And I think one of the biggest thing about, I mean, I've seen it with Neo's events, any kind of summit like this, when you get a large number of people involved in that summit, you feel that energy. It's palpable. It's something you can touch. It lifts you. Yeah, Neo was just doing this lifting thing with his hands. It just lifts you right up. And it doesn't matter where you're at. It'll just pull you. You could be at the depths of despair, and it'll pull you back up just by tuning into something like that. So check out the Stream Virtual Summit too.
Yep, you guys better hurry up if you haven't joined. It's $100, and you better get with it. Get jiggy with it. Seriously, like get on it. I posted something just a minute ago because Neo made me think of it. Gratitude opens up the flow of positive energy.
Oh yeah. That's when because when you're smiling, that's when the flow is at its widest, and gratitude just brings that smile. I never seen you say thank you upset. Well, no, if they're being sarcastic. But
well,
no,
but
it's amazing.
I love that, because when you choose to smile, even like if you can just make yourself smile, I swear to you, you are so right, Neo, because I have pulled myself out of a flunk by just simply smiling, by bringing, there's something about smiling that actually sends off neurosignals to your brain that everything's good. You see, that's the cool part, is your brain is constantly reacting. And when you get stuck in that holding pattern, the way to break it is to know that TWA knows how much gas you have.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, you let go. But the way you just get into that space. That don't be a head case. Use your head space. Oh my God. Neo, I don't even know. That was it was the best blooper ever.
I want to piggyback on that real quick. This is just yesterday in the shower. I just want everyone to try this. Probably don't do it in front of other people. I don't know. But if you ever catch yourself smiling and kind of like laughing because you're so happy about the current situation, just separate your teeth about a ½ inch. Now, it's going to seem weird because you're like, I would never laugh like this in public. It's too aggressive or whatever. But when you open them just a it does so. I don't know why it does something else, but I am eager to do it again and again. I don't know why.
Well, I think it's the difference between a tight laugh and a loose laugh. When you're more relaxed, your mouth opens up. You just feel more calm, and you feel more joy coming through. So you're basically teasing your mind into thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm already in that relaxed state. That's why I'm able to open my mouth like that when I'm laughing."
And I feel like you know how certain things you could project from your gut, like in karate, there was Kia, and then there was where you just came from your gut with it. I think once you open up, you kind of like the laughter comes from a deeper physical place. I'm gonna explore it and get into it and have a real something for you guys next time I talk. But it felt amazing. I know that, and it felt like it was new. Like I guess every time I laughed, I don't know. It's just, it was just something else.
I'm totally on board with you guys on this. Just starting with a smile. If you can't get to the laugh, start with a smile. And if you can't even get to a smile, there's a really neat hack for getting into a smile. You can't create a smile, take a pen and stick it between your teeth. It will force your mouth into a smile. I'm not kidding. It actually does work. If you just can't get yourself to smile, just take a pen. No, not that way. Horizontally.
Oh, I put it the other way. It works still.
Well, okay, that's fine. You know, whatever works. But the point is, when you put it in this way, it forces your mouth into a smile position.
Oh my
God. Debbie's losing it. This is great.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't. That's funny as hell. Okay, now I love that. That's a really good hack. You guys are you tickle my fancy. Listen to this. You sparkle, shine, and you are love. Divine beauty that glimmers with golden rays. You are enough. You're amazing. You make the world smile because you are in it. Know who you are. Live authentically. Be vulnerable. Love fiercely and passionately through the heart space of pure unconditional love. It's gratitude time, and I love you. That was from that was from 2017, and I wrote that.
That's beautiful.
Nice, yeah.
And I'm sharing it because what I want you all to do is to write a paragraph to yourself about how much you love you. You know, one of the tools I give people after they write their list of I am statements is to write themselves a love letter. A juicy, glorious, cheesy, if you were in junior high school writing a note that you were going to be, you know, slip into this really cute guy or girl, you know, or you're in high school and you're thinking, oh my God, I want that person. Well, you need to be that person you want. So writing a love letter to yourself, and that becomes a tool. It becomes a tool so that moment and that day that comes up where you don't think that you are worthy and deserving, you pull it out and you go, that's right. I love me. And I love all these things about myself. Oh my God. And use these tools as something to sink your teeth into. And don't forget the pen.
The pen is great. The pen's powerful, but I love that bit too. Especially, I love the poem. I mean, the thing that you wrote in 2017, that was gorgeous. That's a beautiful thing to say to yourself. If you said that to yourself every single day, I don't care what place you're in, you're going to be in a good place in a week.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna grab it and pop it in here for everybody. Okay, here you go.
You should post it in the group. In the Thoughts
Absolutely.
The group.
This is why, I mean, I love my co-hosts. I love you guys. I love the co-hosts I have on every single day. I actually want to put in a little promo that I have never really done before. I'm doing it this week. We sadly lost 2 co-hosts this week. Dean McMurray has decided he's got too many things on his plate, so he's taking off. I still have Shelley working with me on Tuesday. And on Mondays, Louis DeSouza and I are losing Amy Blackford. She also has too much on her plate, so she's going off to do some other stuff. And in the past, I've always just, I've used the law of attraction, and I've reached out to various sources and so forth to find co-hosts to fill in, because I'm trying to get every single episode up to 3 people every single show, because I think that's a really magical number. Just the energy is always fabulous when there are 3 of us. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to see if there are any listeners who have always wanted to be co-hosts. So if it ever occurred to you, it'd be fun to be on the show. Why not? You know, hey, Amy Blackford and Louis D'Souza were listeners. That's how they came on the show. That's how they got into being co-hosts in the first place, just by listening and say, hey, I'd like to be on the show. I think I could contribute something. Okay, come on, let's do it. So I'm inviting people. I'm just proactively saying, if anyone here is listening in who thought, you know, it'd be fun to do a show, maybe do a once a week show, something like that, well, reach out to me. Like I said, we got an opening on Monday and an opening on Tuesday. We record these at 4 p.m. New York time, 1 p.m. Los Angeles time. Again, do the calculation to figure out what time zone you're in. But we do it at that time on Monday or Tuesday, depending on which show it is. You know, if you're interested, send me an email, walt@loatoday.net, or use the L.O.A. Today app. Send in a message to me that way, or send me something by Facebook. Any way you want to get a message to me. And let's talk. Let's see, you know, perhaps it might be a good fit for you to be a part of the program. So just saying, if you want to be a co-host, contact me.
That's cool.
Do it now.
You know what? It's better. I like it because if it's someone who is new in the game and trying to learn more about the law of attraction, they'll be able to pose us direct questions.
True.
Someone who's new in
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is how I started the program in the first place. I wanted to learn how this stuff worked. That's why I started the podcast. And it is a wonderful way to learn the law of attraction. Let me tell you, it works beautifully. Plus, you get to talk to really high-powered co-hosts. I mean, I've had some of the best co-hosts in the world, so it's wonderful. Yeah, good stuff.
Seriously. So here, guys, look, summoning power.
It's a beautiful card. I like that.
Summoning power, instinct, intellect, control.
Really pretty. I love the artwork.
Isn't that awesome? So summoning in your power, summoning in your power. All these cards. And by the way, I'm a firm believer that cards give us confirmation. So
we have a lot of experience with that here on the show. I mean, we've been doing cards in various guises here for a couple of years now, and it's astonishing how the exact card that gets pulled addresses directly what we're talking about in the conversation, and usually talks to about 10 people in the audience all at the same time. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. I think that and look at this. We have the divine masculine.
Lower it a little bit. I can't quite see the image. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Isn't that nice? Look how beautiful this is. Seriously.
This is a good artist. Really good artist.
This divine masculine, it's electric and it's active power. Our divine masculine, there was actually somebody who did a Facebook post today talking about the beautiful power of men, the power of their being, just how beautiful the divine masculine is. And it is. There's something about that it's so important. Recognizing the beauty that you are, gentlemen, and for women, understanding that your divine masculine is also just as important. And for men, our divine on the flip, tapping into our divine feminine as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All of it's important, but yeah, our I think it's a really good thing if there's men in your life that you take a minute and appreciate them for how they show up. Men have a strength and vigor that women don't have. I don't care how sexist you all want to be, you don't. Okay? Men deserve to be recognized for the beauty that they are and the strength that they bring to us, the protective nature that they are, all of it. And I think that I love that the divine masculine came up, because that's our beautiful power of strength. So we're summoning the power, and apparently we're going to summon in the power of the divine masculine today.
That's a beautiful thing.
Your strength, your perseverance, feel it come in, and love that. I have a bit too much divine masculine sometimes.
What do you mean too much?
Meaning I can get out of balance sometimes.
Oh, and I can do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I can go into this whole, look, anything out of balance is probably, God, I just did it again. I'm sitting here shuffling and it just came up again. Oh my God. Okay, this is
pay attention is what this is saying.
This is pay attention, and the fact is it means to summon it in, to let go, to get back to your at-one-ment with source. Walt said, get into your meditation space where you're in your neutrality from observation. Neo's said he stepped away. He stepped away from the edge and he let go, and he summoned in the power. He summoned in his knowingness. So summon in your power. Know it's there. Connect. And if you feel disconnected right now, like I said before, and it's from Abraham Hicks, if you were a toaster, you're not going to get turned on without plugging into source energy. So summon in your power. Plug yourself in to source energy. Period. Getting yourself at one-ment. And that's what that means for me. But
I also have to add into it's, I know for myself, from my own experience, it can be a little disconcerting to try to do that exercise, especially for the first time, if you don't feel like it's actually happening. And that's an issue I've had for the longest time. It's one of the reasons I'm actually doing the TIE boot camp, to kind of break through. So I'm always having that complete experience with source. But even if you don't feel like it's happening, guess what? It's still happening.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually matter whether you're feeling it. I mean, yes, it's a whole lot better when you do feel it. And certainly when you do feel it, you want to celebrate it and get excited and so forth. But even if you don't feel it, just pretend that it's happening. Just pretend. Imagine what it's like. Pretend that it's happening and create in your mind, what would it feel like to have that source energy coming into me? And that alone will do it. You don't actually have to feel it in order to get the benefit. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
we should have an episode about ancestors.
Ooh, I would love that.
Because I think if we dove deeper into that, I think it would be able to give people a level of confidence that they never had before, including after they learned the law of attraction and learned that they were in control of their life. Once you dig into your ancestors and see who you were before, they have this cartoon called Avatar, to where it's like basically one being is being reincarnated, and they're supposed to be like the supreme or whatever. And it's like, it's weird because it's different avatars over different lifetimes, but he's been able to tap in and speak to them, all of them at the same time. But that kind of creates a separation, like he's talking to a separate avatar as opposed to him talking to himself that had just experienced a separate life. It's a whole weirdness going on, but if we got into our ancestors, I think we'd be able to give people a way more confidence in themselves and their abilities.
Interesting you mentioned that too, because that's a key portion of Thai boot camp. You actually dig in, they call it your transgressors, but you dig into it, and a lot of it's tied to your parents and grandparents and the people who came before you. So it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because like your parents, obviously, and your grandparents, people you've lived at the same time frame with, you kind of see them differently from someone like another life 1,000 years ago. That was actually like your parent is them, you're you, but this was actually you before your amnesia.
So you before the you.
Yeah, when you woke up as a baby crying out of your mother's womb with amnesia. Before that, if you believe in that type of stuff, that you is different from your grandparent who you've sat and ate with and wasn't what you feel wasn't you. You know what I mean? So it goes deeper. I know Debbie's bubbling up. I know she's into this.
Oh, I am, because that's right. I got to well, I'm smiling right now because listen, last night I spent, I don't know, Miranda's here visiting right now and they're getting ready to leave. And we were going through, I don't know my biological father. So we were going through my genealogy report, which is a total unbelievable trip. I'm like 7% Asian. No, y'all. I got the CGI one that goes all the way back into like the 600 whatever.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I come from Iran, Iraq, Asia, Africa. I literally have roots in every place all over the world.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, it's a trip, you guys. It's just amazing. I can't even get over it. It's really cool. But I love the depth of going there and how much can we appreciate all the people that came before us.
Crazy enough, I know the show's great, and I'm not a one-upper type guy. I just remembered earlier today I found out I have a sister that I didn't know I had.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I don't know.
My goodness.
Yeah, so yeah, that was...
There's an episode all by itself right there.
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. I don't know.
Well, yeah, take some time to digest it first. But yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go say goodbye to everybody because they're going to be heading out. And I have once again enjoyed being here with you. I love you guys so much. And everybody who's been watching, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And any types of nuggets that you've gotten from this, please go ahead and comment and let us know what you love and what you'd like more of. Okay.
Absolutely. You guys make the show so great. You guys make the show too. You guys, the pair of you, just amazing insights. Really, really appreciate it very much. Thank you, especially to our podcast listeners everywhere. We'll see you all next time here on L.O.A. Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.